Good morning, good morning. Who's in here with me? Good morning. Who's first? Good morning, everybody. I see one early bird. I got one early bird. I hear Dad and the dogs. Good morning, Jamie Crow. Yep, you are first. Now I see two. Now I see two. Good morning, Miss Jamie. How was your Sunday going? Let's see who gets up early. You getting ready for church, Jamie? Help. I gotta help Dad get the dogs. Mitzi, come on. Shut the door. Let's go. Come on. Come here with Daddy. Let's go. Come on. I wasn't looking. I got the light. Why are you out here? Can I go with Grandpa? No, Grandpa's already gone. Oh. I knew you were big to shoot squirrels, so.
I'm gonna be watching that load too. I bought for a moment ago.
Well, I got a couple to add to it. You ready? Everybody slept last night. This is just everybody's lunch from last night.
But they're all there.
Ain't that ever
Oh. If you feel like it a little bit, I'll call you and I want to put things up there.
All right. Just holler at me because I got the live stream going. I can't answer the phone. All right. I'm sorry about that. No, shoot. Can you guys see the sunrise this morning? Where's it at? There it is. There it is. Got you guys where y'all can see the sun coming up just behind the trees right there. Oh, but good morning, everybody. Good morning. Who all I got besides Jamie? Is Jamie the only one in here? I know it's early. Huh. Long hair miss. Good morning. Colorado. I can't wait. I want to visit there one day. It's going to be awesome. I'm afraid that if I go to Colorado, I won't ever want to come back. I'll let you guys see that Georgia sunrise this morning. It's coming up slowly in the trees. We got a tree over there. I'm going to have to ask Daddy when he gets back. There's a tree over there that looks like it's been painted red. Let me see if I can move the chat a minute and let y'all see it. I gotta look through the camera though. Y'all hold on a minute. Let me see if I can. It should be. All right, there's the ladder. Yep, it's to the left of the ladder. You guys can't see it. It's back there behind the ladder. I can see it just as plain as day. Oh man, it's still out here, thank goodness. Just barely. Dad's done got up this morning, took the dogs out for their run, and he's fixing to go squirrel hunting. So he's trying to get them their run time in. So when he's out doing his thing, I usually try to go live because it's quiet, and the boys are in there watching Charlie Brown, Garfield, because I I slipped up. I made them mad. They kept the boys kept wanting to put YouTube on the TV, so I went in there and I blocked it where they couldn't. And we put a block on it, or I put a block on it, put a passcode on it. The first thing I did was uninstall YouTube. Can't even watch any of the live streams on my TV because the kids want to do nefarious stuff with YouTube. So I've decided, well, I've got a phone and I got a backup phone. I can watch all the live streams I want on the two of those. And I disengaged YouTube because they kept putting it back in. So I passcoded it where they can't do anything without a password. And it's wiped out. And I also put a PG, Georgia, long hair miss, it is. Georgia is quiet. It's there's a lot of country here. You know, just there's a lot of big cities. We've got Augusta, Atlanta, Savannah, Valdosta, Columbus, Albany, but everything around those is just like this right here. It's quiet. And you know, during the daytime, the woods out here, they come to life. You see squirrels and birds and chipmunks, and haven't seen a snake this year, but deer. We have a bear roaming around. Oh, you talking about Pennsylvania or Georgia? So I'm up this morning just having some coffee to see who's up this early. Carol Burton's one state above me. She's in Tennessee. She's seeing the most beautiful part of the country there is right now, in my opinion. Tennessee, Virginia, West Virginia, and Kentucky are absolutely beautiful. And if you like the mountains, that is, you have to be a mountain person. There's a lot of people I know that's just beach people. I don't do the beach. And Hurricane Hillary is one reason why. I live on the foothills of the mountains here, and we have wildlife also a lot of lions and bears. That's crazy, but you know, yeah, I could see that in Colorado. The Rockies is the one mountain chain I haven't seen with my own two eyes. I'm looking forward to it. One day I want to see it. I'm afraid if I go to Colorado, I'll never come back. Yeah. Lions and tigers and bears. Oh my. And Elk says long hair miss. Wow. You know, your hair is so pretty, by the way. I looked at your profile picture. It's gorgeous. And y'all can see that pretty sunset coming up. My dad's going to be walking out here in a second. We're going to have a brief interruption so I can help him get stuff together to get out to the fence line. So y'all going to have to excuse me a second, but I'll be right back. So what's everybody up to on this fine, beautiful Sunday morning? I moved here years ago and was in Minnesota and never went back to Minnesota. It's amazing to me how different each state is. Even they could be close together, far apart. They could be north and south of each other. And I'm just telling you, the way the people are and the way that they grow up and traditions and some hospitable, some not. It just amazes me how different people in the United States are, let alone people in the world. There's a lot of differences between even Texas and here. You can't come out here. I think he wants his ball, y'all. Hold on. You want this ball? Is this what you want? Do you want this ball? Throw in the ball for the dog, y'all. Hold on. You let me throw it twice and quit. My dad's dog Chipper, he'll get the ball, and because we've got a fence between us, he'll throw that ball. He'll roll that ball with his nose up under the fence, and he'll sit there and whine until I throw it. God made USA the most beautiful country in the universe, my opinion only, but he gave all of the beauty and resources to the people. Yeah. And the people have grown lazy by the majority. The young people now feel like they're high privileged and they're like too high to work. And people have really gotten comfortable with sitting on their butt, not doing anything at all. They want the government to take care of them. They don't want to put up an effort. And it's just amazing to me how the country has lost its pride, its freedoms. They're completely blind to what's going on because they don't want to see, which makes preserving the Constitution and the freedoms of this country even harder than it is. It's like the people are asleep, and I pay attention a lot to YouTube. And like if you get on YouTube late at night, like 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock, even in the morning time, early in the morning, if you pay attention to the subject matter, every single post that you see or every single live that you see is stuff to lull you to sleep, keep you to sleep, help you sleep better. All this because I believe that the powers that be want us to be asleep, both figuratively and literally. They want us deaf, dumb, and stupid. They don't want us to know what's going on around us. They don't want us to have a clue. They don't want us to use our brain. And God forbid that we all actually think for ourselves. And that's what it comes down to. They want us ignorant. And what bothers me the most is that there's so many people that's comfortable with that. God created a lot of people in this world to stand up and stand out. We just had a United revival here in Denver, and let me tell you, there were more youth there than I have ever seen in my life. 7,000 to 10,000 folks were there celebrating Jesus Christ. Well, I mean, if the prayers of the people here in the United States is being uttered and it's being heard. If God counteracts everything going on and he sets this country free, because I firmly believe that this country was founded to be the center of the New World Order. I do. I believe that it was the United States that set it up. I believe the U.S. is behind it. I believe that the power players live here. I believe that there's other influencers elsewhere, but I do believe that the seat of the power is in the United States. Slowly, slowly. And the greatest thing you can ever do is turn off the mainstream media, turn off your Roku, turn off all that evil crap, the music, the games, the computers, the internet, the cell phones, all that crap. Just turn it off. Your kids will detox in a day or two. Yep, rich men north of Virginia, right? I mean, I'm just saying this is the seat of it. And it's not just West Virginia, it's not just Richmond, Virginia, it's not just Washington, D.C., which is the seat of Satan, in my opinion. That in California. It's none of that. It's I believe that the fundamentals were started in Georgia, the old South. You know, the original 13 colonies is where it all started, because we had so many people that came here that were Masons. They were run out of England for a reason, and they came here to start a new life. Well, I believe that the fundamentals and the foundation of the New World Order started with the Masons and with the discovery of America and all the 13 colonies. They wanted the freedom to live their life the way they wanted to. England was dictating to them what they could and couldn't do, and they wanted the freedom to choose. So they came here, they discovered the new America, and they set it up, and it's been corrupt ever since. That's what I think. So, but you got to ask yourself, what were they running away from? Everybody says it was religious freedom. It wasn't religious freedom. I think it was the freedom to break every law known to man, every commandment ever made by God, every contract between the people of the United States and the people that run this government. Yeah, big bankers, big money, everything. Everything is still in that line too, because the family line lives on. JP Morgan is probably dead by now, but his sons and his grandsons and yada yada is alive and well. And it's just absolutely amazing to me how enslaved the American people are, and they don't even realize it. Yep, and several men ran England off. Well, you know, it is what it, Rothschilds, Rockefellers, Soros, et cetera, you're absolutely right. And we've got okay, so you didn't need my help after all, huh?
Well,
Daddy, all you had to do was call me. I told you.
well, I know it.
What are you doing?
I lost my stick. I gotta let you know.
A stick for what?
Push my pellet thing with.
Oh, that little bitty thing you had, you've misplaced it?
Yeah, I had it in my pocket. Taking the keys in and out of my pocket.
Oh, okay. Hey, Dad, let me ask you something. What is on that tree right there? That tree right there that's got all that red stuff on it. That's not like normal markings. You don't see it?
Oh, that ain't on the tree. That's flag. Where they done the landline.
Oh, so you're telling me that's a... Okay. Because it looks like it's on fire. The red does, yeah. Whatever. Do your thing. Bye, Daddy. Bye, Dad. All right. And I got to hang out clothes. I don't know which is worse, hanging out clothes or putting up clothes. I think putting them up is worse. I can't stand putting laundry up. I don't remember who it was I was talking to yesterday. Don't come out,
Can I have the salad?
No, you cannot. Shut the door. There's plenty of little muffins and stuff in there, but right now you watch cartoons. I don't care what you want. You're not going to get what you want. This is not have it your way. Now shut the door. Anyway, yeah. I believe that the foundation of America was corrupt from the beginning. And I believe that these power players wanted to have a place that they could do their evil shit and get away with it, and where they can molest kids and kidnap kids and traffic them and kill them for their adrenochrome and everything that they're doing in Hollywood set up, and consider themselves the lead among everybody else. And it itself was run by the mafia and it was corrupt. I mean, it's just everything around us is corrupt. California in itself is one of the most corrupt states I've ever seen. Just it's unreal, unreal how much evil is in that state. It's raining sticks, y'all. Turn y'all up. Y'all can catch that sunrise. There we go. So, and see the Rothschilds and the Rockefellers and George Soros and J.P. Morgan's group is the financial backing behind it. These people are keeping their bloodline pure to the point of interbreeding with each other. Could you imagine your mom or your dad looking at you and going, oh, you have to marry within the family, because if you don't, we're not going to keep our bloodline pure, which is like incest and highly not done. So no wonder they're deranged. Because when you start mixing genes in the family line with the same family line, you're going to have dysfunctional, retarded, acting people. That's just the way it is, because God never intended it to be that way. God intended for it to be, the Bible says in Genesis 2 and 3 chapters, it says, God created man and woman. He created them to replenish the earth. And you can't have a society without men and women producing children. And that's what the World Economic Forum and all the gurus and the elite are after. They are trying to stop people from having children because they want the race to die out. They only want a country with the wealthiest of the wealthy. Only you, being an elite, can have the privilege to live here. So that's what it all boils down to. Y'all gonna hear my dad's air rifle going off. All right, let's see what we got. Hold on. Long hair miss is talkative this morning. Okay, let's see what we got. People are waking up, and then she's got the military complex. Yep, you can't. I mean, you can't if you look around yourself, long hair, and you look at the conditions that people live in general, whether it's the average middle class family, whether it's the poorest of the poor, the only people that's thriving in this country really are the rich people getting richer every day. The poor keep getting poorer every day, and the middle class, well, they're right there in the middle. And I've always said that the middle class floated the country because of the poor are too poor to do much. The rich are too rich. They're exempt from everything. So it all pretty much falls on the income bracket of the middle class. They're the one that floats the country. And they're the ones who work, the blue collar workers, the people who go to work. And, you know, back when my parents were coming up, my dad could drive a truck and he could support the family. Now you can't do that. It takes them both to work. Both parents have to work, you know, and that's why the family's falling apart. Instead of being at home with the kids and actually raising them up and knowing what they're studying at school, making sure they do homework and they are not doing it because they're too busy trying to work to make ends meet. So, and it's like I sit down And I sit down and talk to my kids sometimes. And when I talk to them, I ask them, I will say, look, you know, my children, my youngest son, he can write in cursive because I fed that to him. I made sure he was able to do it. But my youngest one and my oldest one, if you sit down and ask them the difference between a state and a county and a city and a nation, they don't know. They don't have any idea what the difference between Texas and Georgia is, other than they're 600 and something miles apart. You know, the kids are just not being educated. And I got a call from the school the other day because I'm that mom that will not allow my kids to bring laptops home. So I called the school and I left a message with the office, and I told them, I said, you either take the laptops from the kids in the afternoons or I'll come up there and turn them into you. It really doesn't matter to me. And she goes, well, what was it she said? She said, well, we actually have homework on the laptop. I said, I don't care what he does. If he's got homework on the laptop, he's not going to get it done because he ain't going to access the internet here. I said, he won't do it because I'm not going to allow him. And she's like, well, how do you suppose he passes the class? I said, I suppose you get off your butt and do your job and print out a paper that he can come home and do his work. Well, that's up to the state, and that's up to the people that are in the higher ups of the school. I said, well, okay. I said, I said, my son has got a 504 plan. I said, and then my other one is actually on, he has a 504, and then I got one that's got an IEP. I said, so go ahead and push me. I said, because I can push you to make you take him off of a computer altogether if I really want to. I said, I can have him back to books, period. And she says, well, she's like, we don't actually have school books. She's like, we don't have math books. And I said, really? I said, well, they were plentifully available when I was in school. I said, are you telling me you can't get a math book for your class? And she's like, well, no, it's the state that's making that decision. I said, well, then you better figure out something to be able to get him to do his work. I said, because he's not going to do it on the computer. I said, I refuse. And she said, well, it's a liability for me to leave the computer in my room. I said, and it's a liability for you to command that I bring it, that my kid brings it home because they're 12 and 13 years old and not responsible for nothing. So you're going to put a $300 or $400 computer in their hand, and that times two is almost $1,000. I ain't doing it. And so, you just, when you're dealing with the schools and stuff, you can't let them run you over. Just like Putnam County 2 years ago, I was single-handedly responsible for getting the mask mandate lifted in the school because they masked these kids up, and then they made them feel bad if they didn't wear a mask. They made them feel mad. They made them feel guilty. They isolated them. They stuck them in the hall. They did all these things, although that there was a thing in the school and went out on the internet saying that now it was up to the parent whether the child was masked or not. So they isolated my kids out, and they put them in the hallways and stuff. And my son came home and he said, you don't understand how bad the kids are treating me at school because I refuse not to wear a mask. And I said, So I called the school and I told the school, I said, do you really even realize that every child that's masked up is frying their brain by carbon monoxide poisoning? I mean, let's just be honest. I said, and not only that, I said, a germ small enough to have to be seen on a microscope, that germ is not going to be prevented from coming through that mask because the mask is paper, it is woven, and it's going to pass through it because it's so minute and small. So if you really think you're making a difference, I said, and on a sidebar, when school lets out every day, these kids are playing together every afternoon. And if you believe in your heart that they're actually masked up when they're at home playing, you are sadly mistaken. I said, I got kids running all around my yard right now. Not a single one of them's got a mask on. And she said, well, you're just not going to get it lifted. And I said, I guarantee you I will. And I made a phone call to the superintendent, and it wasn't but a couple of days they lifted the mask mandate altogether. And then my son came home a couple of days later and he told me, he said, Mom, he's like, one of my teachers is making it mandatory that I wear a mask. So it pissed me off. So I was like, okay, well, let's find out what's going on. So I called up to the school and I accused them of basically isolating my kid out and putting him in the hall because he refused to wear a mask. And I refused to send one with him every day. And I got a call back from the teacher herself. And this is where I was incorrect. But this is where, to me, they should have told us ahead of time as well. Because I got a phone call. The teacher herself called me. She said, Miss Brewer, she said, Aiden's not telling you quite everything because he can't. And I was like, okay, well, fill me in. Is there a problem? She's like, yes. She said, she's like, I got cancer. She's like, and I'm taking treatments. She said, she's like, if you know anything about chemotherapy, I said, I do. I said, now the math makes sense. I said, and all somebody had to do was just tell me. I said, in his class, in your class, if he's in there, go ahead and mask him up. I said, because I understand it could be the difference of you being alive and dead. But what really surprised me is during COVID that this lady was teaching in a public school. If it was so scary and oh my God, everybody was so worried and it was just you're going to drop like a fly and like you did in China and all this other crap. If they were really that concerned, that woman shouldn't have been in the school at all teaching. She should have been at home because she's so susceptible, and kids are nasty. They have the worst habits and they're just gross and they dig in their nose and they touch each other and just crazy stuff kids do. So in that situation, to me, that was a liability on her and the school with the big C going on anyway. So, I mean, if you want to make a difference, you're going to have to get in there and you're going to have to push yourself. And I don't give a damn if they hate me, if they love me, I don't really care because I just got tired of jumping through the hoops. And then, like, every time when I've got a son that naturally runs warm, I mean, you could check his temperature on any given day and it's going to be 99.1, 99.2. It's just about every time you check it. He runs hot. His body runs hot. And they were trying to send this kid home every day. And I got tired of going to the school and picking him up. And I finally had to put my foot down. And if you get in there and you do it right, because that teacher thought she was going to run me over, but she found out real quick that she wasn't. The one thing that I can say, right, I won't say that they're made to be a babysitter, but what I will say is this right here. They want to be the ones that raise your kids. They want to be the ones that influence them through their tender years where they need to learn. Long Hair says, another brainwashing crap. COVID, my auntie died, was just one of their injections. I never took any of them, but when I get sick, I use ivermectin. Correct. Now, I'm going to tell you something. There's still a lot of people in this world, in the U.S., that don't realize the diabolical plan that the C jab really was. I have a sister, an adoptive sister. She lives in South Georgia, and she is immune compromised. She's a diabetic. She's got a lot of other stuff going on too. And her son was so scared because of the C that he insisted that she get the vaccine. So she went and had it done because he kept harping on her. Well, now she's got cardiac problems where she never had cardiac problems before. And the other day, me and her were talking, and I told her, I said, let me tell you something. I said, it wasn't COVID that killed all them patients in the hospital. It was the COVID protocols that killed the people in the hospital. I said, and not only that, I said, but the hospitals were trying to pay people to make the COVID numbers higher. I mean, literally, that's what they were doing. Well, one man told me, he says, I'll offer you $30,000 if you'll change the death certificate from natural causes to COVID. And I mean, his brother had died. He was in the hospital for completely separate reasons. but they wanted them COVID numbers up. And what it comes down to is, the medical association and big pharma and all the people who make pharmaceuticals and stuff. The one thing that people need to understand, and I've said it 1,000 times on my stream, if you are sick, the medicine that they're giving you is not meant to make you well. It's meant to make you stable so that you're dependent on the medicine constantly. Because if you don't have a dependency or you don't need it, then big pharma doesn't make any money. Cancer treatment, think about how expensive it is. Think about how expensive an organ transplant is, or even a general surgery of any kind. My dad just had a triple bypass. There is no telling how high that hospital bill would be if he didn't have insurance. Long hair says, my heart doctor told me never take the shot, but my main doctor insisted I do, and I looked at him, no way will I take a Satan drug. So no Satan, get behind me. Right. And I had a doctor that put me on the spot one day thinking that I was just going to fold under the pressure. But my son had ripped his daggum foot open swimming in the lake down here. And I'm talking about his heel was hanging off of his foot. And I looked at my dad and I was like, I think we're going to have to take him to the ER. And my dad's like, yeah. So he ended up having to have stitches in the bottom of his foot, and they had to give him a tetanus shot. And then the doctor looked at me and said, do you want to do his vaccine while you're here? I said, you better not touch my child with a vaccine. I said, as a matter of fact, let me see that damn bottle you got in your hand. I want to see what you're giving him. And so he gave me the little glass bottle, and I made sure it was a tetanus shot. I said, you didn't mix nothing with it or nothing, did you? And I'm talking about if you take your kids into the doctor's office, especially with the flu shot, if you take your kids to the doctor's office to get the flu shot, you better double check that damn bottle and make sure that they're not giving them the C vaccine. Because I'm telling you, when C was around and everybody was so scared that they were going to die from it and all this hysteria was going on, the flu disappeared completely. Now just think about that. Those 2 years that the C was around and they were trying to get everybody to take the jibby, there's no flu epidemic. I wonder why. So the doctor looked at me at the doctor's office. He said, you trust the tetanus shot, but you don't trust the vaccines. I said, absolutely. And I looked at him and I told him, I said, the vaccines is what's got our kids so screwed up. I do too. And when 2 years ago, I was on medication for my rheumatoid arthritis, I was taking gabapentin, and I was taking a lot of other stuff to try to control the inflammation and stuff in my knee and in my shoulder. And I finally, and then going to the doctors all the time just to get the medicine, and them charging you to go to the doctor and all this crap they were doing. And so I was just like, yep, I'm done with this. And I come off the medicine, and I have my own medicine I use when I'm hurting. But what it all comes down to is this right here. The people who don't realize that there's natural remedies, God created this earth and gave us the plants we needed to make us well. The people work through the guidance of God through time to discover what different plants will do to help you and to heal you. But these people these days, they have been raised on the American Medical Association and the FDA and all these departments that have nothing. They don't want to do anything but kill us, I promise. Long hair says, but it was nice speaking to you, but I need to go take care of my chicken, ducks, and my quails. I pray you have a blessed day. Godspeed to you all. Long hair, you do your thing. And send me some fresh eggs while you're at it. I don't want no quail eggs. I want some chicken eggs. I don't think I got to worry about deer too much with him out there shooting that rifle. So we probably won't see no deer this morning. So, I mean, it is what it is. I got 5 people in here. I got 1 person talking. Where's everybody at this morning? You two long hair. I guess it's too early for everybody. I woke up this morning at 4:45 and could not go back to sleep. It took me 15 minutes to find the remote control or my cell phone to figure out what time it actually was. And I got up and I walked outside and I turned around and I looked at my dad's back porch and I was like, is the light on in the house? And it was. And I was like, I'm just going to go up there. I'm not going to go back to sleep anyway. So at 4:45 this morning, I was awake. My sleep pattern and all's been off since I've been here. I got so much stuff on my mind on an average day, y'all. I can't even rest. And when I do rest, I sleep like a log. And I wake up. If I wake up during the night, I'm up to stay. Yesterday was a really, really bad day for me. I was just off all day. I worked on my pot to try to get my mind off of things. And then my dad's like, well, you need to do stencils and stop worrying about the stickers and this, that, and the other, and draw yourself up on there by hand. And he doesn't realize stencils is going to be hard to come by as far as like in bulk, getting a bunch of them at one time. So if you have any stencils at home, especially do some research too if you can find anything that's freedom and flag related or patriotic that comes in a stencil. Y'all send it to me because if y'all want the pots to change, I got to get the stuff and I can't get it all myself. And you guys are awesome, but I'm going to tell you something now. I'm going to give these. I've got one more 12-inch pot, which I'm going to have to hold on to because the mystery pot is going to be made with it. And then I've got 3 10.5-inch pots I want to do. This, but when I finish these 4, if I don't see some interest in the pots on the marketplaces and stuff, I'm not going to keep doing this. The supplies cost too much. I mean, it's just money that you have to sink into it to get them started. And then, I mean, I'm human, so they're not going to be like 100% perfect. There's going to be mistakes made on them. There might be a small little flaw on them or something like that. But yeah, it's not going to be like daggum Da Vinci painted the daggum thing, but I can get as close as I can. And each time I do them, they're getting better. But I don't know what it is. Here, I've only got 2 on the marketplace here locally. And I hesitate to sell them outside of that because of the shipping that it's going to cost to actually send them out. Because these pots are heavy. The pots I'm dealing with now are big. They're way bigger than the ones I did when I was in Texas. So, and heavy. So, I'm just, I'm trying to decide exactly what I want to do with it. And then I got one of my chat members is like, you need to get you some old wood and you need to start printing stuff on wood and making like things like lightweight stuff that you can send in the mail. And I'm playing with the idea because I've got all the tools here at my disposal that I really need, but I've never worked with power tools too much. I can run a drill. I've used a chainsaw once or twice. I know how to use a blower, but when it comes to like dead set tools, like my dad's tools, I've never messed with them. So I don't know much about the table saws and all these other saws and stuff he's got, and I'm scared in a way to even get in there and start working with it. But I'm not afraid to try it. I'm just afraid it's going to fall apart when I try. So, that's where that's at. And I want to tell you what, anybody. I got 6 people this morning. Good morning. What? What? Well, shut the door. And you know I'm live, so why are you out? Kids. I'm trying to keep them quiet too because Dad's trying to hunt. So, but The pots are fun, but if they're not going to pull a profit, they're kind of pointless. The pots themselves, if I bought the two size pots that I bought at Ages the other day, which is a hardware store that's local, if I had bought them daggum pots at Walmart, they would have been a fortune, because the 8.5-inch pots at Walmart are almost $15 with the tray. And I've stopped dealing with the trays, because I found out very quickly that the pot itself, when you rotate the pot on top of the painted tray, it's going to pull the paint off. So it's going to scar it up and mess it up. So there really ain't no sense in painting it, because it's just going to take it off. You can paint the outside of it, but the inside, you don't need to paint that, because the pot's going to rub it off. So, and there's some acrylic pens that I'm looking at, and the ones that I'm looking at is actually on AliExpress, the same place I got the little trinkets I posted on YouTube day before yesterday. Hold on just a second, y'all. Turn that TV down. Grandpa, you have a way to turn the TV down. Grandpa is funny. Now you either stay in this building or you're gonna lose that television. Turn it on down. Sorry about the interruption, y'all. I'm trying to keep the kids quiet so that Dad can do his hunting thing. He wants me to be quiet so he can do his hunting thing. So
the lights aren't working.
Okay, well, I'm sorry. The light probably blew because we've been having problems with it. Now shut the door. It ain't like I can get up there and change it. I'm going to have a ladder to get up there to it. I told Dad it was giving me problems yesterday. We forgot about it, but he said it was getting ready to blow, and sure enough, it did. But they got the daggum thing so high in the ceiling, I can't reach it. Good morning, good morning. We got 7. Good morning. Is anybody talking, though? Is anybody in here that's a patriot, or are y'all all trolls? I know Jamie's not a troll, but my chat's not moving at all. So, but yeah. So me and the school system here are already having issues, because I basically, Eletta Bryant, good morning. Good morning, good morning, and welcome to the chat. Is this your first time here? It seems like I've seen you before. My memory is terrible. So you have to forgive me. But you seem familiar, so your name does anyway. But I'm horrible with names. I'm better with faces. But I don't get to meet my chat face to face, so there you go. But you hear the rooster in the background. He's confused. Oh, okay. Is this the first time you've ever chatted in the live? Why are you back out here? I told you to stay in the building. Dadgummit. Okay, well, he is hunting. No, you get in the building like I told you. No, you're going to do what you're told. You know what? I'm about sick and tired of you threatening me and threatening everything else. You ain't going to burn shit down, because you know what? If you do, you're going to be in an asylum somewhere. Do you understand me?
Yes.
Get inside. Smart mouth kid. So, damn, are you serious? Where is your clothes? It's a good thing I got the daggum lime stream out in the yard instead of right here behind me where they could see you walk out in your daggum underwear. Was it where are you at, Aletta? We did that yesterday. We darn sure did. We cleaned out the yards. We cleaned up the yards. We raked. Let me show y'all what we did real quick. See that path that's cleared out? We got all the sticks, all the leaves, everything my kids raked and moved sticks and limbs. That pile of limbs right there was piled up by us. Tennessee, one of my main mods and friends is up there in Tennessee right now. She's on vacation in Gatlinburg. I envy her. I wish I was there with her to see the mountains. I love the mountains of Tennessee. I love Tennessee. I fell in love with Tennessee years ago, and I fell in love with the mountains there. So hopefully one day that's where I'll die. Because I am the one that's going to get up in the mountains and I'm going to disappear and nobody's ever going to see me again. This is like later in life, but that's exactly my goal. Get me a little cabin up there somewhere in the foothills of the mountains, one of them small towns where I have one bedroom and a kitchen and a bathroom, and that's all I need. And I got a front porch where I can sit outside and have coffee in the mornings and just sit there and chill and watch the wildlife move. That's my perfect life right there. As far as later in life, when I'm through with everything, the kids are gone and yada yada. Hot damn, good morning. Hey, is it raining this morning or did it stop? Again, why is the door open?
Okay.
So, we trying to have a quiet morning, but when the kids get up, it's impossible to enjoy yourself. So you guys are gonna have to deal with them in the background for now. For now. Aleta says we have 5 acres with a pond, a small home. I tell everyone that my house is a cross between Bass Pro and Crackle Barrel. That's crazy. But you know what? The serenity of being in the mountains. A lot of people. Good morning, Tracy. A lot of people thrive on being on the beach, but there's a big difference between what you can experience at the beach as opposed to what you can experience in the mountains. The things that are the wildlife of the beach, other than crabs and stuff like that, if it washes up on the beach, it's usually dead. So you don't get that one-on-one experience that you get sitting in the mountains and watching nature just move. So you might see a seagull come down to steal a fish, but that's about it. You might see dolphins swimming in the water, but all you see is their fins. And you're going to have to get away from the beach to see most of that. You're going to have to go out into the open water. So, and you got this and that, and you got the water, and you got sunsets, and you can sail away for 3 or 4 days. But if that's not your forte, then flat lands and the mountains and the hills and stuff like that, shoot, that's where I belong. That's why I have so many nature shorts, because I absolutely love nature. I've been raised around it. I've been raised in the country pretty much my whole life. So, and my dad's always been a hunter. So we've always dealt with deer and we've always dealt with other things. And, Leda says, we are in the country, dead end road, not too much traffic, just neighbors and the people that take the wrong turn. I'm surprised you ain't got a big sign up there that says, if you're lost, knock on my door. I'll feed you and send you on your way. I asked a friend of mine the other day who come by here. He had some homemade. Good morning, Miss Wilma. Yep, the country life is good. Um, and the reason they don't want people in the country is because they're self-sufficient. You can be self-sufficient in the country. If you choose to go off grid and get you a tent and go live in the middle of the woods, you can take care of yourself. There's enough animals and enough fruit and berries that grow naturally that you can actually live well, you know. But there's so many of our plants and stuff and that they have deemed uh either weeds or they're non-therapeutic and just there's so many medicines out there that can help you that grow naturally in the woods. And Tracy says, Aletta, we have 7 acres in the country, 2 neighbors, and a dead end road. Y'all and y'all's dead end roads. All I can think about is Wrong Turn, the movie Wrong Turn, which I will not watch. It done something to me in one of them when they hooked that dude to the dag or a girl or a guy, I can't remember now which, or maybe both. They hooked them to one end of a car and hooked them to another and literally pulled them apart. Stuff like that I don't want to see. I just don't. And the last time I've never met somebody like that. I'm sure there is people like that, but I've never run into them and encountered them. Aletta says we see deer, turkey, but don't kill them. My husband and son have lease hunting. They lease hunting land. Okay, I got you. That's a good thing to do. Um, but yeah, and that's the way we are. I mean, my dad, he started feeding the deer corn years ago when they started getting in his garden and eating all of his plants. And so he lays corn out every single morning for the deer. And it's just something they've gotten used to. The squirrels, everything is fat around here because we feed them constantly. And when my dad's in the mood to shoot squirrels, he'll go to the hunting club and shoot squirrels. But we enjoy watching them around here because they play and run from tree to tree and stuff that they jump. They on the ground eating acorns and corn niblets and this, that, and the other. And we've got 2 perches out there in the woods where the birds sit and they get the corn as well. So everybody, there's so many animals that enjoy the corn being laid out every morning, not just the deer. Tracy says, here you can't shoot unless you have 10 or more acres of land. Government regulations, their way of stopping you from doing anything. My dad and my kids love squirrel. I don't eat them. I guess if you were hungry enough, you'd eat them. And I probably ate them when I was young and didn't even know what I was eating. But he went out with a friend of his yesterday to go squirrel hunting. They came back with 1 squirrel. Ooh, I wouldn't want no lizards. Ugh. A very special person to me has a lizard fetish. And he loves lizards. And that would be like sacrilegious to him. So I don't mind them. I don't mind lizards. I don't mind snakes. I don't mind spiders. Insects don't bother me because I grew up in the country. Some of them I steer clear of, some of them I don't. But when it all comes down to it, they don't scare me. If I saw a snake on the ground, I wouldn't be like freaking out scared. It would depend on what kind of snake it was. Aletta says, put them in a crock pot, cook them till they fall off the bone, pull off bone, and add barbecue. Squirrels, barbecue squirrel. We got squirrels and grasshoppers. Tracy, I ain't gonna eat no grasshopper either, or a cricket. If I was lonely in the woods and starving, I might be pushed to do something. But as long as I can get food, nah. Aletta says it tastes like chicken. Whatever. Good morning, Miss Nina. Are you tired? You have to be tired. You have done nothing but help your friend move for, I know, a week and a half. You have got to be exhausted. Good morning, Jan. How you doing? How's everybody doing? 11, you're gonna hear my dad. If you just came in, you're gonna hear my dad with a rifle. Um, we're in a different direction, thank goodness. But um, he's out doing his thing, and the kids are doing their thing, and I'm doing my thing. Everybody's doing something different. So, what did you guys think of the bumblebee pot? I thought it turned out really good. Um, was it my favorite of all that I made? Nah. My favorite of the ones that I've made so far was the ladybug pot. It is still my favorite. That one turned out so good. And it will by far be my favorite for a long time. It was also the funnest one to make. It's on the page. There's a live on it, and I did a video on it, and I'm trying to get it out there. I'm also trying to get the subs up. I'm like less than 100 and I'll say 140 away, a little less than 140 away from being able to get a subscription for the channel and start monetizing a little bit. But I also had a long talk with I'm going to call her Red Cactus till the end of time. She can change her name if she wants to. I told her on the phone, I won't ever call you nothing else. But she just recently got monetized. And she told me, she said, YouTube makes you get to $100 before you can ever pull the money out. And she said, and not only that, but with some of it they're taking 50%, and with some of it they're taking 30%. So that YouTube is getting a lot of money off of the super chats and things like that. And I think that's the only reason they do it, is because they get part of it, you know. The ladies in the chat, Elaine, they picked the colors. They had a lot of choice on where the stuff went. They were able to decide what trinkets I put on the pot. So that's why I like doing the lives when I do the painting, because Crafting with Kelly does that. She'll take ideas from the audience and she'll incorporate them into what she's doing. And I thought that was a really neat thing. So I include the chat as much as I can in getting the pot together, because I wanted to be like a group thing. And then Nina, was it you that told me you had all the pots you wanted to send to me? I think you said that they're way bigger than the ones I've got. There is a manhunt for a J6er who didn't show up for sentencing on Friday. That's bad. What's perfect, Elaine? Including the chat, or did you go look at the pot? So, I've made, let's see, the bumblebee pot, the ladybug pot, the 2 freedom pots. There's another one that I had at the house and I can't remember which one it was. I've got 2 big pots that I left behind. And then I've made the bumblebee pot, the freedom pot. One of them was a freedom pot, but I've got maybe 4 or 5. And I've been putting them on the marketplace, and I'm trying to sell them locally because it's going to cost so much to ship them. And if they don't start getting some attention, then I may have to start crafting something else, because the upkeep and the cost of it's not, I mean, even if the trinkets are $1 or so a piece, the cost of the pots is ridiculous. And good morning, Miss Claudette. How is everybody this morning? We got 12 people. Everybody's waking up this morning. You're waking up to see me live. That's awesome. Has anybody watched Crystal Sanderson's tribute to Santa? If you have not, I have a link to it that I can forward to you. How you doing, Ladybug? I'm okay, I guess. There's a difference between being happy and existing, and right now I'm just existing. Some days I'm good, some days I'm not. Yesterday was a really bad day. I pissed somebody that was important to me off, and I was in my feelings a lot because of some stuff going on in the background, and I just had a bad day. So, I am human. I do make mistakes. I have bad days. I'm doing the best I can. My emotions and everything is all over the place. So, I've got a lot of stuff I've got to decide about. Why are you coming back out? What?
Have you seen another light bulb so I can put it?
No, Grandpa's going to have to change it, and I just told you that, so there's no reason for you to be out here. It is daylight. These kids act like they ain't got no life.
I'm keeping the door open.
Now, you're going to shut that door because I don't want to hear that TV. Shut it. Hot damn says it's only 5:30. Shoot, it's almost it's 8:30 here. It's 8:30 on East Coast. His name is Chris Worrell. What did I miss? Tracy, let me go back. No, he ain't never helped me. The boys' dad, now he's fixing to step up to the plate and take the kids because I'm just at that point where I can't do it no more. What? I just threw the ball for you. I don't see no ball. You can't come out here. No, you can't come out here. So no, I've raised the boys for 14 years, and I've never really asked him for anything. I've always done it by myself, never really asked him for anything at all. So me to be in a position where they're reaching their teenage years and they're just getting to where they don't want to listen to nobody here. And they don't want to listen to what, it doesn't matter where they go. They just, they want to do their own thing, and the hell with how it influences or affects anybody else. And that's my biggest issue right there is, that's good. You need a break. I do need a break. I told his dad, I said, they're getting to that age now where they're starting to be like, number one, they're bigger than me. They're stronger than me. They run from me, yada, 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 yada. They think everything's a joke and yada, yada. So I'm just done with the whole mess. These kids, kids today, just in general, they have no respect for anyone. And it's not just mine, it's a bunch of people that's having kids that just have no respect, and they've been taught respect. They could go to Tracy's house and they'd be angels. And then Tracy would be like, well, they were respectful and so sweet and so courteous and this and this and this. But the people who actually are here with them in the trenches, they ain't got no respect for her. So I'm tired of the roller coaster ride of dealing with the situation. I'm just, regardless of what the future holds for me, I have just decided that I'm just done with this chaos. I'm going to try to get them somewhere where they are comfortable and they are around people that care about them, that can work with them a little more than I can. I'm just at that stage where I'm done with it. And it's a bad situation to be when they're your children, but I just can't. I'm just tired. I can't do it no more. And I'm not making any impact on them anyway, but they're damn sure making an impact on me. I say parents get stupid when kids get in their teenage years, then get smarter when the kids get in their early 30s. Yeah, because they think they know everything and they think their way is the only way, and they could care less what you try to warn them about for the future and where the road they're heading down. They think you don't know anything, or maybe that you're exaggerating it all. I don't know. You just need some you time. I do. Um, um, She does. She does. I mean, he does. Jen, he has a wife and he has a new baby, and she's 14 months old, and he's not had to deal with being a parent because I've handled it all this time. And he's one of those types that you really don't want him involved unless you need him involved. And so we just, me and the kids just are not seeing eye to eye. We've got a lot of friction between us. There's a lot of pain going on between us right now. There's a lot of resentment on my end. And I have reasons to feel that way. So I don't really care what anybody thinks. But if you have been through the last 9 months of my life, or now 10, if you had walked with me through the last 10 months of my life, you would understand where I'm coming from. I think it will. Colette, I think it's going to be rocky for a while because he's going to handle parenting completely different than me, of course, because we're two different people. Um, but that's just like y'all. It's crazy because I had a friend. I was talking to a really good friend of mine when I was way younger, and I lived in South Georgia. I was talking to her the other night, and she told me, she says, a mutual friend of ours is fixing to give her two kids up because of the same reason. And her last ditch effort was my adopted sister to work with them and see if she could get them turned around. And she can't. I mean, she works her ass off, always has. She's held a job and took care of them financially, but you can't take care of a kid financially as a single mom and then be there all the time. It's just impossible. So you can't do both. It's either you stay at home with them or you work, and if you work as a single mom, then that's taking a lot of time away from the kids. So she has to hear it from you that she is not responsible and you need to establish a really good relationship with her. And I told her that. I told her that. But the thing about it is, Michael has his own he's got his own interpretation of what's happened, and he feels like he blames me for me being in Texas all them years and him not getting to see him. But we have mutual contacts. If he really wanted to find me, he could. And so he would rather blame me for the whole situation. And this is the first time I've really asked him for anything, but one of the things I've got to do is, in order for me to get my license and all straight and to get where I can drive, I've got to work. And my dad and stuff cannot deal with the kids like that. I mean, he just can't, and neither can my mom. So it is what it is. It's a messed up situation. So for all concerned, this is the best move for all of us, not just me, not just the kids, but my dad, my mom, everybody concerned. This is the best move because what the last year of my life has impacted mine and the boys' relationship tremendously. And I don't know if we'll ever recuperate from it, honestly, because as long as they still see that they had no wrong and that there was nothing wrong with what they did, then we're not going to agree at all. So um, I'm doing, a lot of people, somebody asked me the other day, they said, well, you sounds like to me that you're choosing your kids. You're choosing a life over your kids. You're damn right I'm choosing a life over my kids. 14 years of not having one, not being able to have anything. I'm almost 50 years old. In a couple of months, I'm going to turn 50, and I have little to nothing to show for it. I can gain all those things just like everybody else, but that doesn't mean I'm going to hang on to them. No, he didn't pay child support. I've been a single mom living on Social Security because Christopher, when he was younger, and even he'd probably do it today if he couldn't take care of himself for the most part. But when he was little and I tried to have a job and put him in after school care and stuff like that where I could get off work late, I mean, I spent my time for a solid 2 years getting phone calls every single day at work and having to leave work and go deal with this kid. And most of the time, I ended up having to stay home because the school system up there where this happened at wasn't going to deal with it. and they just refused. Trouble kids got sent home. And so every day I would have to leave work to go pick this kid up from school because he's either running up and down the hallways, he's trying to run out of the school, he's whatever. We lived across the street and he knew it. And he also knew if he acted the ass at that school, they would send him home. And so one day I was talking to the principal. I said, you do realize that you are fueling this behavior because of the way y'all handle it. You're sending him home every single day. That's what he wants. He doesn't want to go to school. He wants to sit around all day and be up under my butt. And every job I had, I lost it. You know, you can't work a job that you're not there for. He'd have a bad spell at school and they'd make it mandatory that I had to get him evaluated through MHMR. I take him to MHMR. They'd want to put him on the 6th floor for a psych eval. That pinned me down for right at a week and a half to 2 weeks sitting up at the hospital waiting on him to be admitted. I mean, he's a minor, so I can't leave him up there. And I'm talking about 2 weeks, 3 weeks straight. It would take him to get a slot open to get him up there so he could be evaluated for what? For him to sit there and eat corn dogs and play with kinetic sand and have the internet and be able to play Uno and games and stuff all day. And that's his perfect little world. So he thrived on it. And so he would literally leave the hospital and turn around and do something to go right back. It was a vicious cycle, Colette. And the bad thing is when you live that way, you can't have nothing. You can't have a life. You can't have a job. You can't have a relationship. You can't have anything. And everything I've attempted to have, I've lost. Everything. And I'm tired of that. I'm tired of it. So I choose me. And I choose what makes me happy. Instead of everything being about my kids, at some point it has to be about me as well. So I choose me. People can be upset about it. They cannot understand it. Whatever. You can look at it any way you want to, but I'm going to tell you something. When you get to a point, hey, I made this move to Georgia, and if it wouldn't have been for my Chad, I wouldn't have got here. And when I got here and got situated and I started really getting a chance to clear my head some, and it took, some days I still ain't got a clear head. I know it's going to be a long road, but you know what? I've been through a lot of crap, in my lifetime. And I've had and lost a lot in my life, and just in the last 15 years. And the way I lived my life up until a year ago was I just refused to let myself be happy at all. Because if I did try to be happy, it backfired on me every single time. Every single time. And this most recent thing was the straw that broke the camel's back for me. Because when you invest yourself in something and it means something to you, and you lose it, and it shattered my life. Just shattered my heart. It shattered everything. So what it all comes down to is this, when you have the realization that this is the way it has to be, that if you don't change something, you're going to lose yourself more so than I've already lost myself, then yeah, at some point, it's not about the kids. At some point, it's about me. Because if I'm not well and my mind's not right and I'm not happy, ain't nobody going to be happy. That's just the way it is. I know that. And it is shock. And even when it's not even shock, it's just what's the word? I'm appalled by two children that I have raised up till this point, the things that they have done and the things they did in the last year is just amazing to me. Um, so I've just had enough. I mean, I'm done with it. I can't keep doing this because I just, I can't keep doing it. It's tearing me apart, the situation, and I'm tired and I'm exhausted and I'm irritable and um, I just can't. I'm spinning my wheels and I'm standing in place. I can't come up. It just seems like I'm just stuck, you know. So as grateful as I am to my mom and dad for letting us stay here, um, it came with conditions for them too. They had their own like issues. Yeah, I agree with that too, Nina. They do. They need somebody stronger than me that hasn't been manipulated by them for the last 15 years. I want to see them try to manipulate him. That's going to be hilarious. Good morning, Charlene. When I went to bed last night, Charlene, I was thinking about you because I haven't been talking to you as much. You've been sick, so but you were on my mind. And when I laid down last night, I prayed for you specifically. I prayed for Nina specifically, and I prayed for this country. But for some reason, you and Nina were heavy on my heart, and I just did what I had to do. You know, we slowly but surely the fog's lifting, and I'm starting to come out of things, and then it seems like to me I'll have a setback and just get derailed. Um, but you know, uh, there was many times over the past 15 years I've asked God, you know, if this is what living is, what's the point in doing it? I mean, this isn't living. This is, you know, again, existing. And there is a difference. You know, I want to enjoy some of my life, you know. So the humidity. You need to come to Georgia. I'll teach you about humidity. There's your humidity. Georgia and Florida has got to be the two most humid places that I've ever experienced in my life. And in Florida, you got a whole different problem because not only do you have water all around you, but it dictates the weather and it changes quickly and stuff like that. So you just never know. I've stood on the like I've stood on the land in Cumberland Island and watched the storm in the distance move in, and it didn't take it but a second to get there. And it didn't take it but a second to go from perfectly sunny and beautiful to a storm moving in quickly. Yeah, I'll teach you about humidity. All you got to do is come here where I'm at, and you'll find out around 4 or 5 o'clock in the afternoon. I'll show you what humidity is. Georgia is known to have 100% humidity most of the summer. And let I tell you what, I'll tell you simply, I want what I lost. I want what I lost. I want what has been taken from me over the years. You know, I want to be able to look at my grandkids and be like, yeah, I've been married for 30 years because that's all the life I have left. At 50, I might have 20 or 30 years to go. You know, and I can't recall a time when I've really been happy. You know, when I've not had something interfering with me just trying to live in general. When I was in my early 20s, it was my mom. She was just designated to make sure my life was a living hell. And that's why when she passed away, we had the wedge between us that we did. But she also completely wrecked my damn life. And she made sure that she did it. So, you know, then I had Chris and Aiden. And after I had them, it didn't change. It just got worse. And I mean, I've always lived in like my own version of hell in a way. And so I'm not I haven't had a time when I could just sit back and just really live for me. We never have it like I know, I was talking to Red Cactus the other day. She was telling me that the difference in the temperatures, you would think desert was so dry and hot, and it is hot in the desert, but they have better weather overall than we do. It's not humid, it's just hot. And then even still, their temperatures at that time were still lower than the temperatures I was dealing with. You know, Texas has been getting the heat now. It's been 107, 108, at times 110. The heat index so daggum hot. Your hair shrivels up when you walk outside. You know, that's hot. But now Texas likes the humidity that we have in Georgia. And it's going to be like this for a week. The lady says, I got to go. Yep, I'm like you. I do most of my stuff in the morning. Nina says, what is Papa Brewster up to this morning? He is playing with his rifle. Uh, he's playing with his rifle and doing what Papa Brewer does in the mornings. Hunting season's fixing to come in. He's going to make sure them rifles are right. Um, the maddest you'll ever see him is him going to the daggum woods and going to shoot a deer and missing it because his sight's off. We are at 71 right now, and it's going to get 90. I don't even know what the temperature is here. It's showing 75 right now. I guess that's here. I have to be careful because, yeah, it's 75 here. I still got Burleson on my weather, and so I have to be real careful when I pull the weather up. I'll be done pulled Burleson's weather up instead of Georgia's, and it think to myself it's going to be 105, 106. And then when I see the elevated temperatures, I know right off the bat that I'm on the wrong city. I mean, we have hot days. And as a matter of fact, August is usually our hottest month, but we ain't seen it like that this year. Your dad sounds like my husband. They sight those guns in before hunting season. I hear boom, boom, boom all the time. Right, Colette? Because if he misses a deer, he gets pissed. It'll make him mad. Yeah, we haven't been. We've had a break here. But now, when it was already getting close to 100 degrees in Texas, I'd call Daddy and he'd be wearing a jacket and having the daggum fire pit going in the mornings because it was so cool. So they were having really cool mornings when we were already blistering hot. Ugh, 105. Do they have, Tracy, are they showing any break in the heat at all? Charlene says, I have a new rifle and a new sight. Slim has to zoom it in for me and get it ready. And what are you going to shoot with it, Charlene? Holy shit. Daddy, that was loud. Did y'all all hear that? That was loud. It scared me. I wasn't expecting it. I don't know about all that. Pig, deer, and turkey. Oh, okay. Nothing tastes better than wild hog. For sure, for sure. I jumped. Yeah, me too. Nita says, get him, Papa Brewster. He's actually, our last name is Brewer, right? Capital Brewer. The Brewster was a typo. We are the Brewers. God bless a monkey's butt. Oh, you know what? I think he's doing. I smell gunpowder. What? Hold on, y'all. Do what? No, Aiden, to put on some shoes. All right. Aiden, Grandpa said put on some shoes and go to the fence. Now.
get some.
No, he said to put on shoes and go to the fence, put on clothes. Yes. He's got to get dressed, Daddy. Hold on. He's walking around in the skimpies. Jan says, my daughter-in-law rescued a boar someone released but previously had as a pet. I said a monkey's butt. I did. I'm trying to quit cussing so much. And so yeah, you'll hear all kinds of crap come out my mouth. I said, God bless a monkey's butt. That's what I said. Oh, is it? Cool. What about gators? Can you do gators year round? That's like Florida is bad about like what is it? Constrictors, snakes. They'll take them in as pets. They'll start out as pets and then they'll just let them go. They'll just let them go. Did any of you guys happen to see the video yesterday that was posted on YouTube of DeSantis in Iowa? Did anybody see it? DeSantis and Trump went to Iowa, apparently separate but together. And DeSantis was sitting there on the stage talking to the governor of the state. And in the background, the people were chanting constantly, we want Trump, we want Trump, we want Trump, just over and over. They wouldn't even let the man speak up there. And I have never laughed so hard in all my life because I can't stand Ron DeSantis. Everybody wants to act like he's all this and all that, and he's not. He is in bed with Disney and the pedophile network and all the stuff. He laid low and complacent with that stuff for so long. This man and all the governors before him actually allowed Disney to have their own constitution to where they did not fall under the regulations of the state, where they could do, in other words, they were above the law. So, and I blame him for that. They could have done something a long time ago to stop it, and they chose not to. Charlene says, no, alligators are by pull tags. Your name has to be pulled, and they are $300 a tag. But you guys have like an overpopulation of them damn things. They need to let y'all kill some of them. When you're riding in the streets, of Florida and you see alligator crossings, you know there's too many daggum gators. Yeah, I mean, what you know about the Disney situation, Colette? Talk to me. And whether people want to admit it or not, Ron DeSantis is World Economic Forum partner. And so is the majority of our politicians and our judges and everybody else. DeSantis is practicing for the election after this one. He's not going to make it. And if he goes outside of Florida, he found out just how quick his popularity drops. And it was hilarious. That's just like Gregory Abbott in Texas. You know, he's standing there, and the people in Texas have been bitching about all the illegals coming across the line since Biden took office. But the one man that could have stopped it or done something to prevent it, he could have stood up and done something. Okay, hold on. Okay, DeSantis, because you got DeSantis has screwed himself. He will not get elected, and he will not get reelected in Florida. Probably won't, because too much is coming out about him now. Just that they had rule over some Florida stuff. Well, it's like this, Disney. If they were caught, and let me tell y'all something I found out too. In California, in the Disney that's in California, they have got something called Club 33. and it's inside and underneath the Disney theme park. And what it is, based on what I understand, is Club 33 is for the highest of the elite to go and hobnob and rub elbows together. But here's the thing that really worries me about that club. There are underground tunnels and walkways that lead from the theme park to this place where the elite are being served food and things of that nature. So I'm really curious as to exactly what they're eating. And in all the years that I have heard about the masonry and the 33rd degrees and above and things of that nature, I have never heard of Club 33 until here recently, and the guy is bringing it out. And I want to do some more research on it. I want us to have a live stream on specifically that. I would like the live stream to do some research and see what you guys can come up with, and I will do the same. And I want us to get in the live and I want us to talk about what we found out. Because I have a feeling, well, it's not even a feeling. I know that with a name like Club 33, and then it's also got the masonry signs outside the buildings and stuff like that, this is a nefarious organization, I'm telling you. And what they do, we probably don't want to know. So I tell you what I would like to do is for all of us to get together and check it out and see what we can come up with and have a live on it. So if you like to research, tell me now if you're willing to do the research. Just tell me. If you want to do the research and don't mind doing it, I need to know how many people is interested. Because what we can do is if you're not afraid to go on panel, but if you are afraid to go on panel, I want us to it's time we start educating ourselves to what's actually going on. And it's all connected with Hollywood and it's all connected with California. I'm telling you, the ties are really thick through there. So we need to find out. I would like to find out and do the research and find out exactly what goes on there and what they do. So I just need somebody to do it. I need somebody to help participate that would be willing to look it up too. And Colette says, I can't, honey. I'm kind of sick and can't hardly clean houses sometimes. I got you. But most of this research can be done. If you know how and where to look, most of this research can be done online. But I don't think you can use Google to find it. And I don't think you're going to be able to use DuckDuckGo to find it. Both of them are compromised. You're going to have to download an encrypted browser like Tor or something and actually protect yourself to research it. And I'm willing to do it. And I can sit down and do it. And Charlene says, I can do a little research and on the computer for you. Right now, I've been working with the chaplain at the church passing out the constitutions. Oh, that's cool. That's cool. See, if you had a live stream, Charlene, that would be awesome if you could go live and do that. I would support you. I would be in there. I would even mod for you. Build that channel up with y'all doing those kind of things. That would be awesome because one day I'm going to be mobile. And when I get mobile, I'm going to go around and I'm going to travel, but I'm also going to go and visit my chat. This week I'm going to Charlene's house. Next week I'm going to go to Colette's house. Next week we're going here. Next week we're going there. Charlene is, she's salt of the earth. She really is. I have the privilege of having so many people in my Freedom family in here. And I'm going to tell you, the Freedom family, for the majority, are ready to stand up and do something, but knowing exactly what to do is another thing, or where the impact must be best be felt. So we are literally We are literally going to, if we don't educate people though and start making them aware of what's really going on here, it's not going to work. We're going to have to wake them up still, and people are waking up, and that y'all are right. They are waking up because, there's people going out on the street asking in the next election who you gonna vote for, Trump or Biden, and people that voted for Biden the first time ain't gonna vote for him again. And you ain't never gonna convince me he got 70,000 votes either. Anyway, I mean they cheated. There's no way to ignore the cheating that they did in the election. Anybody that thinks that that election was not rigged is full of crap. Colette says, I'm a good person too, but I can't prove it because I'm so new to everyone. I don't believe that at all. I've been seeing you in chat for quite some time. That's not true. Charlene says, I also include a ticker tape with all of the 1776 RM sites so that they can join us in our fight. And I also include a small flag. That's awesome. Tracy says, I've seen what they say is a list of people that visited Epstein Island. Okay, and what did you find out about that, Tracy? Tell me some of the names that's on that list. I can name a whole bunch of them. Hillary Clinton, Bill Clinton. Oh, that's cool. Well, you found me, and I love you, Miss Colette. So, and I've seen you in Santa's chat and others, so I'm familiar enough with you. Tracy, give me some of them names. I think people would be surprised if they knew who was on that list, or better yet, the circles they travel in. Who is Santa? Colette. Convoy Santa? You don't know Convoy Santa? Convoy Santa is the leader of the RM movement, and he's where it all started. I'll be honest with you. Yeah. So look up Convoy Santa on YouTube. Just Convoy Santa, Glory Be Freedom, 1791 Stormtrooper. All these people are part of the movement. Who am I forgetting? Zero Jericho. We the People. There's so many of them. You can go to my links page and find a bunch of them. Convoy Santa, yes. Just type in Convoy Santa in your search. It'll pull it up. You can't miss it. He looks just like Santa Claus. That's how he got his name. I did not. I had to leave it. My suitcase could not be over 40 pounds. But I mean, the suitcase couldn't be over 40 pounds. And then I had 3 backpacks. So I had to deal with, I had to leave a lot of stuff behind, including my early pots. My ladybug pot's one of them. Yeah, I had to leave all that stuff. I couldn't bring it all. There's a weight limit, and we needed clothes more than we needed that stuff, so I had to leave all that stuff behind. And that's part of my anger too, because starting over is hard. But when you start over multiple times in your life, it's ridiculous. And I'm tired of that too. I'm tired of getting things and having things and then being stripped away. Colette, we figured you're a good person because you're hanging out with all these good patriots. And then Tracy says the Obamas, the Clintons, Tom Hanks, Whoopi Goldberg, the Bidens. And let's not forget Oprah. And not to mention the fact that she's like the ringleader to the whole thing. And Tom Hanks is so demonic, y'all. It don't make no sense. I won't even watch that man's movies no more. Ever. And a couple of my favorite movies have him in it, and I won't watch them. I will never pay to go to a theater again. I will never support Hollywood ever again. I won't buy a movie ever again. I'm done with that. Tom Hanks is responsible for Isaac Cappy being killed, if not the one who actually did it. So I don't know. Yeah, that's it. Good people hang out with good people. Sure enough. So you can go to Colette. If you will go to my links page, and they're on there. I know Stormtroopers on there, Glory Bee's on there. I think Santa's on there. Aruba Dive Girl's on there. Um, uh, his name is Isaac Cappy. He was a childhood actor, and just like him and Sean. Oh shit! Hold on a second, y'all. Dang it. I'm fixing to have to end this live, y'all, and return that phone call. But I'm gonna have to get off here and return that call because it's important. But you guys